Hey folks, it's Nick here from Imagine Children's Museum with my friend Dr. Science. Chuck, I have heard that they actually flew a helicopter on Mars. What do you know about that?
Yeah, they did, as a matter of fact. They had to power it off of electricity.
Oh, wow. Where does it get its electricity from?
Well, the helicopter has a solar panel. They use sunlight that comes into the top of the solar panel that's on the top of the helicopter, and the electricity from that goes into a battery down in the main body of the helicopter.
Oh, so it can just store it up while there's sunlight and then use it day or night?
During the Martian day, and then they have the electricity they need to fly. They can only fly for a few minutes at a time, and then they have to recharge it.
Okay.
Kind of like your cell phone.
Kind of like my cell phone lasts longer than a few minutes.
That's true.
And does that power the equipment? Is there what is the electricity for?
Well, the electricity does several things. Number one, the surface of Mars is very cold, and so it has a heater in the box that keeps the box warm so that the electronics will work. Okay. Then it has a radio link, sends the signals from the cameras back to the rover.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures from the helicopter when it took its first flight. That was really cool to see that. This model that we built here is just made out of some basic stuff you can find at home, some Play-Doh and toothpicks.
Right.
And we got the idea from our friends at NASA. We'll give you the link on this video so that you can build your own Mars rover. You can even use marshmallows and make it a very tasty Mars helicopter.
Yeah.
Now, does the electricity also power those blades?
It turns out there are two motors, one right above each blade on that shaft. Each of the rotors spin at a speed of 2,500 times a minute.
Wow, that's super fast. Why does it have to spin so fast?
Well, they have to spin that fast because the air on Mars is as thin as very high altitude on Earth, about 100,000 feet on Earth. And so the higher you go in altitude, the faster you have to spin the blades so that you can lift the weight of the body of the helicopter.
Okay, so the blades have to spin faster to get more force from moving the air.
Yeah.
And do those blades spin the same way or different directions?
Well, yeah, we have two blades and two rotors, and the reason we have two rotors is because they have to spin in opposite directions.
Huh, so why is that?
Well, if were to spin in the same direction, as soon as the helicopter lifted off of the ground, it would spin in the opposite direction. And we want the helicopter body to stay stable so we can take pictures and stuff from it. And so what we have to do is have the two blades turn, or the two rotors turn in opposite directions.
That makes sense. So it cancels out the rotation from both of them.
Right. So that when the helicopter lifts off the ground, it stays stable.
So it's Newton's third law in action there.
That's right.
Very cool. So I see you've also been experimenting with some helicopter blades over there. Do you think we can show folks at home how to build one of these paper helicopters?
Yes, we can. As a matter of fact, that's another NASA form that you can get.
Yeah.
But and it's very simple. It's just paper. I used a little bit of Scotch tape to keep it together. Basically, what this shows you is how a helicopter blade works.
That's super cool. Let's build a couple of those.
Okay.
All right, so we've got our paper here and our scissors, and we're going to cut out our paper helicopters. Here we have our paper helicopter template, which we downloaded from the NASA website, and we are just going to start cutting out right along the dotted lines. It's a very simple template that even if you don't print it out, you can probably draw a version of this yourself. We are cutting these out of cardstock thick paper, but in fact one of the ways that you can experiment is try using different types of paper and make your prediction. Do you think that it might fly better with thick paper or thin paper? Are there other ways that we can experiment with this? Maybe test out different shape sizes? What can we do?
Well, we could change the length of the blades that we're going to end up with. We can change how thick they are by making the portion of that that much wider. And then we can also experiment by adding weight. Once we have the helicopter completed, we can add weight to see what happens if you try to carry more weight.
So a heavier blade might fly differently then.
Well, not so much a heavier blade, you can actually hang the weight at the bottom of it and let it.
Oh,
it
a heavier
represents the-
body.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe we like clip some paper clips down here or
That's
something
right,
like
yeah.
that. From here, we really only need to make 3 more cuts. We're going to make 2 little slits on either side, going toward the middle, and then 1 more longer one that's going to split our blades. The 2 shorter slits are going to let us fold our bottom half into a narrower shaft here. So we just fold that in, fold it up. You could even use a little bit of tape, make it look neat and hold it together. Or glue. That will help direct it downward, and we can even add a little more weight to this if we want to do some experiments later. We've got our blades up here and we want to fold them in opposite directions. Does it matter which way we fold it?
well, as a matter of fact, it might, you know, we'll have to, that's one of the experiments we can run, actually, to see what happens when you fold them in different directions.
Okay, so I have mine here that are labeled A and B.
Right.
I'm going to take A and I'm going to fold it back so that it falls behind, and then I'm going to take B and fold it forward.
Okay, then I will fold A forward and B back.
Excellent. So we can really turn this into an experiment now and see
We'll be able to see what happens.
Excellent. Well, I've got mine. It looks like you've got yours ready to go. Should we test them out?
Sure.
All right, we've got our paper helicopters and we're ready to test them out.
All right.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, and they landed at about the same time. They both flew at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, we also have these paper helicopters of the lighter paper rather than the cardstock. Should we test those out too?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's see how that works. We'll go up here and we'll go 3, 2, 1. Did you notice anything different about those?
Yeah, they seem to float longer. They seem to last longer.
Interesting. I also noticed that since we bent our blades in the opposite directions, they were kind of spinning the opposite way. In fact, we're going to drop them again so you can see that too.
Yeah.
All right, so this time, just to check whether we were right about the speed, we're going to have you drop the green one of the thicker paper, and I've got the pink one with thinner paper. And which one do you think is going to hit the ground first?
I think mine is.
All right, let's try it out. 3, 2, 1. Looks that way, so we definitely have a difference in the type of paper we use.
Yes, which means that the weight of the helicopter is different, and the weight of the blades that carry it are different. So.
Absolutely. So we hope that you do some experimenting at home with your paper helicopters, and we'd love for you to share your results. Thanks for playing with us today.
Yes.